Hi guys, Jared here with Day Traders FX. I hope you're having a great day. Let's talk about some setups that we have going on today. I want to focus on the pound dollar. There's some really good things happening on that pair, so let's have a look at it. Quick little look at the news today. We saw some U.S. reports come out a little bit better and a little bit worse than expected. Unemployment claims were a little bit better than expected, with the ISM being a little worse than expected. Coming up into tomorrow, we had non-farm payroll and all that stuff, and as you know, because of the government shutdown, it's been canceled. So tomorrow will probably be a little bit of a slow, flat day, but Friday mornings are not typically my favorite time to trade anyways, so that works out okay. All right, so the pound dollar, once again, as I said, is my focus. I have been preaching that I think the pound dollar has got to come down. Right now, retail positions are pretty high. There's a lot of shorts in here, but I think that the market, I just don't know how much further up it's going to be able to go before a big correction has to start happening. You can see the daily chart here. It looks like we're going to get just about almost a bearish engulfing candle. We're just missing that high by a tiny bit. But if you look at some of these larger time frames here, particularly the monthly chart, if you look at that monthly chart, kind of zoom things in a little bit, you can see that the pound dollar has been really tapping this trend line all the way down since the high of 2009, and it's hit it again in 2011, and it hit it in 2012, and now we've just hit it again. So we've come off the low of 2012, which was 147, about 90, and we're up 1,400, give or take, a little bit more than 1,400 pips. So that's a pretty good area for this pound dollar to start working its way back down. Now, we had a big double bottom there, and that was a big deal, and it drove it up. Once again, that low being we're 1,300 and about 80 pips in the low, but the high's gone up as high as about 1,450 pips. So that's a pretty big range for this pair. Typically, besides the big financial crisis, 2007, 2008, where we had that huge run, most of the time we don't get anything too terribly much bigger than, some of these have been about 2,000 pips or so, so we could have a few more pips to the upside. But for the most part, the last couple of years, these ranges have really tightened up. There's 1,300 pips from low to high. There's 1,000 pips. There's 1,000 pips. 900 and so pips. And then, once again, we had this 1,500 pip move. And then we're, again, about 14 or just about 1,400 and change off that low. So for at least the last 3 years, that's the biggest range that the pound dollar has seen. And so this kind of leads me to believe that we might be coming into an interesting area, and on this short-term channel we've bumped along that trend line and we're right back up to it again. Monthly trend lines and monthly support and resistance levels do break, but it's more often that they get bounces than breaks, and we have bottomed out very nicely along that lower part of the channel, and now we're coming back up to the top and hitting that. So that's all very good. Now, if you look at the 4-hour and the 1-hour charts, you can see that the pound dollar hit its high here. And one more thing I forgot to mention, if we go to the weekly chart, we can see that this 163 has been a super solid level. We've tested it, made a little spike above that, but 163 has been a big, tough level. So if we go to the 4-hour chart and even the 1-hour chart, you can see that the high here was about 162.60, so it got pretty darn close to that 163, and then it came off that level by 100 pips, and it made another stab at it, and it's come off that level again. So we're starting to make lower highs here. And then one thing that became very obvious this morning is, as we've started to consolidate here, we have a nice little double top in play. Really good little double top there and a double bottom. So we're working on this nice, perfect double top pattern, which hopefully will take us down to some of these lower levels. I've been just screaming that missed weekly pivots have to get hit. We have a missed weekly pivot down here that's at 161.15. That's a good first target. That's still a good little chunk away from current market price. So that's kind of one that we're looking for there. That's 45 pips. And then we have another missed weekly pivot all the way back here that's 295 pips away. And then we have another missed weekly pivot back here that's 550 pips away. So we've got a lot of room to go. And even before we get to that 200 moving average, we've got nearly 300 pips. So there's lots of room to go. Our first weekly pivot right here is going to have a lot of support. There's the bottom of the daily pivot range. There's a weekly pivot there that we've been trying to hit. There's a 200 moving average. So somewhere between 161.15 and about 161.25, this should stop the pair. But once again, that's at least from current market price, that's a 30 to 35 pip run on the shy side and about a 45 pip run if this thing really picks up and goes. So it's an easy little run, but this could be the starting point that gets us really moving to the downside. Now, one thing that I want to remember is if this does pull back and retrace up just a little bit, or even if it comes down those extra 30 or 40 pips, hits these levels and bounces up, I still am very, very interested in shorting against this 162.50. So we'll be looking for opportunities to get short up here as well. But for the most part, I think trading the break of this double bottom right here is going to be a nice little run into this weekly pivot. So we should see this thing hit 161.15-ish. Over the next couple of hours. So look for opportunities to short right around current market price, and let's make some pips on this pound dollar. Thanks a bunch, everyone. Best of luck.